There we go. And here is our Thursday production training. Thanks everyone for being in here. I was just talking to the team at the Align Group, and we were chatting about the type of prospecting that you guys do, and there's no wrong prospecting. As a matter of fact, there's 101 ways of finding clientele out there. As long as you do what you're doing best and you are claiming it that you're expert at it, and that is something that we encourage. So we never tell you, no, don't do this, do this. There's one thing to make sure that everybody understands, that there is no shortcut or there's no blue pill of magic. There's one thing that is simple, and it's a very simple formula. You talk to people, you make relationship, and you make transaction. It's simple. For John Tsai and his level of expertise was phone call. He's extremely good at making phone calls. For Tina is online leads. For Leonie is also online leads and connecting with people. For Nidish is face-to-face with people. For Sally, who is not here right now, she's at the lesson presentation, is door knocking. So you find your prospecting, see what works for you, re-amplify that for you. Let's concentrate on the online lead aspect of it, because I have Tina here, I have Leonie here, I got Jack here and his team, and of course we got Teddy in Seattle. All of you guys, let's open it up into the concept of the online leads. And by raising hands right here, if you can tell me who is, in terms of the business right now, prospecting through online leads at this point. So raise your hand, put it in the chat. Let's get you involved into this meeting, and let's get you, Rav says focus. That was the name of the movie. All right, so great. We got Saya, and I'm seeing some other hands. I hope everybody. Okay, great, fantastic. Now, I want you to also go off the meeting and tell me how you get this online leads to begin with. How do you get them? Is it through organic base? Is it through the advertisement? How do you connect with these online leads? Go off mute, type into chat, be involved with me.
So I do mine. Hi, Axel, it's Leonie. I do mine through Google PPC, and it's Google click. Like it's like it's a click. They click. It's not the one that they click and your dog clicks or whatever. It's the one that's very intentional. And I have a paid service with that.
Great. Okay. All right. I'm echoing right there. All right. So this is a good conversation because we have different type of ads. And if you ever wanted to get into online leads, and if you wanted to have that type of prospecting going, let's understand the online leads concept first and most. And many of us, we've gone through this, but it will be a good reminder. So the online leads, they have no idea who you are at this point. And there's different type of advertisements that you can put out there to attract them. Let's dissect this advertisement, and then we understand their concept and how we expect from it. So there is advertisement through your IDX. What does that mean? That means that you practically put out homes under 600,000, home under 800,000, or list of homes under certain pricing, or homes in certain location. So in case of, let's say, Jack, homes in industry city, or in our case, homes in Vancouver or homes in Kerrisdale. For sale, get a list of them. What they do, if you're doing the Facebook or Meta ad, when I say Meta, that's a combination of Facebook and Instagram. What it does is practically display ad that people are scrolling and they come across your ad. And if they find it curious and if they find it enticing, they click on it to get that fulfillment. So the way the Facebook works, you see that ad, whatever it is, and we're gonna dissect it a bit further. They click on it, the Facebook form pops up, they put that information, and then there's a thank you page, and that's it. You get that information. Let's get back to it a bit. Let's dissect it a bit. Is this the best way? Because when you are getting this lead, you promise them something and you got to fulfill that. So, of course, by the thank you page, they get an access automatically through that IDX or broker website. And the MLS will be sending them the automated listings as they requested for. So, in some ways, you have fulfilled what you promised for. Great. Fantastic. The message that you put out there in terms of the ad, it could be a picture of list of homes in certain location or certain price range. It could be a video. It could be an AI, or it could be just the entertainment of a faceless production. So that's not an AI. It's just practically a view of what they can get, and then put that as an ad. Those are type of different ads they can do. If it's an IDX, so if they see a picture of home with certain location or certain pricing, they click on that picture of home right now. They get to fill up the form in order to get information about that home or that location or that price range. That's what they're expecting. You give them that. You kind of fulfilled it. Remember the chicken and lamb? I always say it. You took the piece of the chicken practically. They gave you that information. You gave them the piece of lamb. So the trade is done already. But then you call them. And that's where the online leads practically get confused. So when you're making a phone call, in most cases, they're like, and that's a conversation. That's the tonality. Sorry, who's this? What are you calling me for? I didn't expect to talk to an agent. I'm just curious. Don't call me. I just clicked on a picture of a home. I want to see that home, not to talk to an agent. That's the impression you're going to leave behind. Let's make it better. So for Leonie's case, she does the PPC ads. So the PPC's ads are better or worse. Let's talk about that. Facebook and Meta advertisement is like you driving on a highway and you see a banner that is a McDonald's and you get attracted and it keeps coming to you until you get attracted or get a discount and you go in it. With PPC advertisement, with Google advertisements, it's a bit different. And that is you have a targeted location to go to. So you decide with your family, let's go to this place to have a dinner. But you still don't know the menu. You're just going in there as to discover what the menu is. And that's PPC. So it's a little bit more intentional, as Leonie said. So the leads that come in through the Google tend to be more motivated, more knowing exactly what they're looking for. With Facebook and Meta, they're a bit lost yet. You just got their attention. You increase the curiosity a bit, but they're not there yet. So there's a bit more nourishing, more approach to their base rather than the PPC. So that's the difference between PPC and ads right now. How can you make the best connection with these people to be involved? The first example that we talked about on the Meta ads was the picture of a home and the clicking on it. You were not involved. You're not in the equation. They saw a picture of a home. They got you got their information. You gave them the home information. But when you call them, they are not ready to receive you yet. How can you be in a receiver part? How can you be more involved and be involved with that ad? A simple solution for it is to put your picture in the ad. That's a very simple solution. Let them see you on the side of that picture of a home. Or if it's a message, get a list of homes under 700,000 or 600,000, depending on the region and what the most attractive pricing is. Point out to that message with your picture. It's very simple. That message is coming from you now. So automatically you're involved into the equation. Now the next level, of course, similar. They click on it. They put their information. They give you a piece of chicken and they get the thank you and a link to all the listings. So you give them a piece of lamb. Give them one more thing before you call them. And that's more of you. How can you do that? Is by creating a video at the end of that thank you and let them watch it. That video is you and your resume. That video is about your involvement with that ad. What can you do to benefit them? If you're approaching your ad and your target audience are certain home prices under 700,000, then talk about that. Talk about that location that has that $700,000. Be the ambassador for your message. Give them what they want to hear you at. And this way you connect with them. So remember the focus movie that we just talked about? You put the seeds are in there already. You put yourself in the equation. So when you call in them, they're going to answer your questions. They're going to be more receiving of talking to you because they saw your picture, then they saw your video. So there's more relative in communication. So they're not saying no to you, or they're not denying you. They're going to be talking to you when they're ready. It's not that they're not shutting you down this time completely. So there's a little bit of a difference in online leads. I want to expand that a bit further in terms of the concept on the online leads. And I want to get you guys involved into it. So the biggest question that comes in regards to the new leads or the existing database that you have. So let's say if you've been doing online leads for the past 6 months, for a year, and there are new leads coming up, you're catching up, and there are certain protocols that we do recommend, and we can go through it if you guys want to hear that out again. But the old leads are also sitting in your database. So which ones are better? What do you do with that old leads that's sitting in your database? Let's open it up, the mic. Guys, go off mute and tell me, would you prefer getting brand new leads coming to your database on a daily basis? Or would you prefer those old database to be nurtured? If you have a chance and you have a CRM today, and you're going through a CRM that has brand new leads that comes in, and you have an old database, which one would you rather make connection with? Give me your vote on the chat right now. Go for it. Or go off mute and tell me. Okay, old database. Old. You're reading my mind, don't you? You sleazy bitches. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm busted right there. You're right. So let's talk about the concept of the online leads. And the concept is, if there are brand new leads that coming in, depending, of course, how you have ran that ad and what we just talked about in terms of the connectivity and putting you in the equation or not, so these online leads, they're somewhere from 3 months to 9 months within our team. So we did the calculation on that, somewhere from 3 months to 9 months. But in general, within the industry, they're somewhere from 6 months to 18 months ahead. That means they're not ready to pull the trigger just now. So it needs a bit of more communication, more nourishing, and more connection to go further. So if you have some old data and it's sitting in your database and you've been nourishing them through your CRM, you've been sending them the listings, you've been giving them those updates about home buyer programs, the newsletters, and any values that is being done during this time, they're getting readier and readier. It's like an old wine that is ready to be popped open. It's ready. And they tell you that. In many cases, I got Mr. Chu here. Michael, can you go off the mute and let me share an example of the longest time that you had to nurture a lead, an online lead? How long did it take you for them to get back to you?
So the question is how long it takes to nurture an online lead?
No, give me an example of yours.
Sorry, there's echo. So it depends on the motivation. So usually it would be at least 1 to 2 years. The longest for me is like 3 years.
3 years. And Leonie just punched it into the chat as well. So one of her leads also got back to her in 3 years. This is phenomenal because a lot of us we want the business today. But just imagine 3 years from now, what you have built already in your database, what you built in your CRM, and you already have everything in there. 3 years from now, they're going to give you business. And if you have that warm feeling, You know your business is repeatable. That's what we're in it. We're not in it for another 2 months or 3 months, and we're not out of the business. So we're in it for a very, very long time, for years to come. And if you set this up today, if you get this database rolling with the automation, with a system that is uncanny, then in 6 months, in 1 year, in 1.5, or even in Leonie's and Michael's example, you're going to have them connect with you and asking for business. That's what it is. So this is the concept of the online leads. Before I jump into the follow-up protocol, why don't we talk about your questions? So I want to know, how do you guys do your ads? How do you guys nurturing your leads? Where do they go? What type of systems do you have? Do you send them listings? Do you have them on automation? How do you treat these online leads? Let's just discuss everything openly with everyone right there. Leonie, why don't we start with you? Because I know you're running these PPCs. How do you have the system going right now?
So for me, it's very much automated. I'm always looking how to automate it even further. But they do get a video of me, like thanking them for coming onto the website. And then I phone them. So I try to, like, when the phone rings, because I use Bull Trail, when the lead comes in, my phone rings to be like, hey, you have a new lead. So I call them, I leave a message. And I give them something of value. So it's like, hey, I'm going to send you like the mortgage calculator, or I'm going to set you up on the search, because the search is automatically set up. But I'm always giving them something, because I'm like, most of the people, they're like, I'm just looking, I'm just browsing. And that's always the first question that you say, hello,
Yeah.
I'm just looking. And I'm like, that's great. But I always give them something, and then I ask questions. And even if they're trying to rush me, I always say, by the way, what would be your ideal home if you were to be looking in the future? And my goal
Mhm.
is to keep them on the phone to book an appointment. Like, I'm not there to get all of their needs. It's just to book an appointment with me. And then from there, my next step is to sign them under a buyer's exclusivity.
Got it. Okay. No, this is great. So this is the blueprint that you have created for yourself and is working out. That's fantastic. Tina, I want to hear from you. How do you go about this? So from the time that they're coming in, what is the type of conversation you're going to have with them? Whether there is a conversation, how many days do you nourish them? What's happening on your side?
Um, I mean, it depends. For some of them, they respond right away. Some I have to connect with maybe 10 times, and then on the 10th time, they'll respond back. So
Okay, this is good because I want to know about this a bit further, and this could be an answer to a lot of us guys about online leads. You said 10 times.
yes.
Is this the average that you felt that you have to connect with the leads sometimes when they're unresponsive? Is this the average of connection with them, that they're actually on the 10th time, sometimes on average, they respond back to you?
Yeah, around 8 to 10 times, I would say.
Great. Okay, so there wasn't a stat. I remember I shared it about 6 months ago with everyone right here. So most agents, they make one call. They make one call as soon as the online lead comes in. They make one call and they go. That's about 60% of the agents out there. Now, the additional 20%, they do 2 to 3 calls. Well, that means 3 days of nurturing, and then they give up. Now, only a few percentage, maybe 5% of agents, they nurture for the rest of the 10 days. And that's one of them is Tina. So that's why her conversion is higher than the other 65% or 70% in there. So that is a little bit of a question for you guys. For the unresponsive leads, what do you got to do? You got to keep connecting with them. It doesn't mean that you want to spam them. You are providing a value to them while you're trying to connect with them. So 10 times you said, Tina, right? Minimum, that's what you do. And this 10 times, which is we have it as a protocol, how does it start from the first day? So first day, as soon as they come in, what do you do? Can you walk me through it, please?
So I call them twice. If the first time they don't pick up, I call right away. And a lot of times they do respond on the second time that I call them. Like, right, I hang up and call back right away. I think they realize that it's not a scam.
Mhm.
So they pick up. And then if they don't pick up, I try a different time on that day. And then if they
Different time
don't, then
zone.
yes, different time zones. So if I do it in the morning and then I do it afternoon, evening. And then if I still don't get a response, then same thing. The next day, the next day, the next day.
And do you leave a message on the first day?
So to be honest, I have in the past, but I stopped doing it.
Okay.
Sometimes I
No, thanks
used
for
to, if
sharing
they
that.
didn't pick up, I would send them a text and I would get a response. They would reply back with a text, but I've stopped leaving voicemails.
Okay, so let's get a vote in here right now for the ones that they're participating in this and they're listening. Put it on the chat. Do you recommend, and put yes and no in there. Do you recommend leaving a message on a first day calling the online leads, or you don't recommend it? So go on the chat and let me know what you think. So, okay, no voicemail, no voicemail, no. Leonie says yes. Okay, good. This is good. So let's dissect this. And I know Tina used to do, and now she doesn't. And she goes on the text. Text is a must. I'm not saying not to send the text. My recommendation is for what works for me that may not work for you. I actually did it. I actually left a message, but I left a message in a different way. So it wasn't that, hey, this is Axel, call me back, or calling because you inquired. It was a different tonality. Let me share my screen with you. You can take a screenshot of this, and that's exactly in our script as well. And if you're part of our program, you are getting access to this. So the follow-up protocol. You can take a screenshot of this, and this is exactly what I did on my online leads, and an extremely successful rate for me. So as Tina says, I called 2 to 3 times on the first day, and I totally followed what Tina just said. So if they don't answer, I called again. I would say 50% chance of them answering. And I did leave a message, but the message was this. It was a bit different. Can you guys read that by any chance? I can make this bigger if you want. So the message said that I'm getting back to you. That's a little different in there. It didn't say I'm following up, I'm reaching out, I'm calling because you signed up. No, none of that. I always said, sometimes I even said, I'm between appointment, I'm getting back to you. So they know if I'm between appointments, that means I'm not going to spend too much time with them. I'm a busy guy. So they warmed up a bit. And when I say I get back to you, that means hey, you inquired something from me. I didn't reach out to you. That's where it is. And that's where I left a message. The next thing, not the next day, I sent a text with same script. And of course, in many, many cases, when the video was in power, depending on what type of app you can use, whether BombBomb or Looms, you can start sending video text. Did everybody take a screenshot? So I'm just going to stop sharing that. That's our protocol on the first day. That's what I do recommend. And I guarantee you would increase your connectivity with those online leads for 20% if you send them a video message. Leo, you and I had that chat many, many times. Go off mute and tell me on your success rate by sending a video or a quick video introduction to your online leads.
Yeah, it's a good thing to put a face on your name especially for new leads. So when they meet you in person, you're not a stranger anymore. They already know you, already talked to them on the phone, you already sent them a video, or you did like a Zoom meeting or sent a Loom video to them. So I think it's important to build a rapport.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. So yes, there is a huge success rate in terms of this follow-up base with the online leads, because they have no idea who you are. You just called them. Sometimes they think it's just a telemarketers, or it's just a bot or AI is calling them. By putting that video message and text it to them, you are separating yourself. And remember the message. The message is not that you're trying to reaching them out. They're the one that they inquired about something and you're getting back to them. By saying that with your emotion in your video, with that maybe 20-second message that you're sending them and sending them as text, you're resolving that issue. And your return calls, it would be much higher. Now, let's go back to Tina. You said 10 days. So what's the plan for the next 10 days, Tina? What do you do for the next 10 days? You're on mute.
Okay, sorry. So I keep contacting them every day. Yeah, and then
Okay,
my very
so
last message to
what,
them that yeah,
that's one call a day, right?
1 or 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And
Different time
meanwhile,
zones.
do you have campaigns that is also nurturing them, like email and text going forward?
So Agent Locator does, yes. Agent Locator does follow-up bus also.
Perfect. So let's talk about that. So and that's part of a protocol as well, and that's what we have for the team. And I know I set that up for Leo, and he's pretty good at this when it comes to the conversion in terms of the drip campaign. That's what we call it, the drip campaign follow-up for the next 10 days. Why the 10 days? Why the 10 days so important is because that 10 day is the definition of their motivation. And if they don't respond to you within that 10 days, it doesn't mean that they are junk or they're trash. No, never delete them from your CRM. Remember with Michael Chu's and Leonie's example, they can come back to you 3 years from now if you have enough nourishing going forward and keeping that drip in your campaign. So that 10 day is just the definition of the motivation of knowing exactly how you are going to be involved with them. If you get a hold of them, of course, that 10 day is out and you're understanding and asking those questions of their timeline. If their timeline is over 6 months, then of course, you know your position based on your business standard, how you want to treat them going forward. If they say anything under 6 months, to me, they're hot. They're hot. They're ready. 6 months in real estate, that's not a long time. You need to vet them. They need to get pre-approval. They need to write offers. You need to look for homes. The closing time, oh my God, 6 months, that's actually short. So if they say 6 months, then you know how to treat them. Going forward with that 10 days, what do you do on the 10th day before you put them on long-term nurture, Tina? What's the last thing you do?
So one message that I sent, I mean, this came actually from John, that I've been able to get a response, is basically asking them, if you're no longer wishing to receive any emails or texts or listings from me, let me know and I'll remove you. And then I'll get a response back.
That's it. And that's as simple as it is. Sometimes it's like ripping a Band-Aid. It actually relieves you from, you know exactly where that lead is inquiring for. If you ask that direct question, sometimes they ask you directly. So don't push it. Don't just leave them in your database going forward. Find out their motivation on the 10th day, whether they still want to get those listings, keep going forward. Do they want to get updated? Has anything changed from the first day until the 10th day so far? And if nothing has changed, just keep going. And if they don't respond to you, of course, leave them be. So that's extremely important. Again, on the 10th day, if you taken a screenshot, that would have been exactly what I would say as well. So on the 10th day, I make a final phone call. On that phone call, I'd say, you let me know, where do we stand? Where do we go from here? What do you want to do? I've done my job. Now I'm not dropping the ball anymore. So you let me know if you want to get more listings, if you want to be updated. If not, totally understand. We'll take it from there. And if they say no, do I get disappointed? No. John always says, the more no's you get closer to the more yes. And that's exactly what it is with online leads. From 100 leads that come in, only 1 to 2% on an industry average, well, 2025 really sucked. The industry average used to be at 2.5%. We're at 1.5% on industry average at this point for conversion on online leads. Industry average, that's according to the report, 1.5%. So that's 100 leads, 1.5 of them will turn into your conversion. That's sad. So that's 100 conversation into one possible lead. That's not bad, actually, if you want to take a look at it that way. So if you have set a goal for yourself that you're going to have 30 conversation a day, remember, conversation a day. So you get 99 no's and one deal, I'll take it, right? That's practically, if you do it for one yes a week, that's 4 transactions a month. Am I right? So the last day is just to make sure you rip the Band-Aid and you ask them what they want to go from here. If they respond, you fulfill their wishes. If they don't respond, put them on a long-term nurture. Is that what you do, Tina? Okay, so long-term. That means long-term email drips, a newsletter on a monthly basis. They also get a listing automatically sent to them. And that's how Leonie got the response 3 years later. Michael Chu got the response 3 years later. And I know Sohail had also 2 to 3 years of his leads coming back to him. Any question about the protocols of the follow-up from this method that we just talked about? Show me some thumbs up. I want to know if everybody's present, if everybody's here yet. Okay, good. Let's open it up to Q&A. And before we go any further, I want to point out one more thing. If you're using your CRM, which is the preferred choice of connecting with people, and I know many of us, we tend to call them from our cell phone. Don't do that. If you're using an online lead services with your clientele, that's your choice, that's your privacy, that's whatever you want to do. But when it comes to your online leads, make sure you are connecting with them. You're calling them through your CRM. Imagine back in 90s, everybody had an office. And in their office, they had a rotary phone line, not a cell phone at the time. They had to dial numbers. And people, in order to get a hold of it, they called your office. That's what it was. And you called people through your office. It was professional. It was assigned a number for your business. So calling people from your private line, it's okay. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's personable. Go for it. But when it comes to online lead, it is recommended you call them through your CRM. Not only most of the CRMs right now, they record the calls and they have a summary of your calls, but also they are your best saviors. And I'll tell you why. When you're making these calls through your CRM, there's a history of your call already recorded on your CRM. So you don't have to go back as per or conversation email again, because you have that record of the conversation with them already in order to have a proof of that conversation. So that's benefit number 1. Benefit number 2 is that call is going to be on your CRM, so you know what type of conversation you had 3 months later from now, 6 months later from now, when you're coming back into this lead, then you would know what exactly the conversation was. If you call them from your cell phone, you don't know what it was, unless you made a very enhanced note on your CRM. So either or works. So make sure you call them through your CRM. The biggest challenge right now that I know most of us were facing is if you're calling to your CRM and you don't have that contact list in your phone, when you're calling them, your CRM most likely will show mostly a spam or likely a spam. Who has this problem right now? Who gets the likely a spam at this time when you're calling people? Give me a thumbs up.
I do sometimes. I get it. I mean, I only call, to be honest, with follow-up bus number. Sometimes some people tell me, I don't know if it has to do with their phone company. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, what you said sometimes, so I'm assuming nobody else has that issue. So I don't want to waste anybody's time for a solution. But for you specifically, Tina, in order for reducing that problem, if you want to resolve that issue, all right. If you want to resolve that issue, is to text them before calling them. And you're right. So the only way that they get the likely spam is through their network. So whether the provider, whether AT&T, Rogers, or wherever they are in the world, whatever the provider there is, they have that kind of a blockage. If they don't have you on their phone number, they will report you as likely spam. And if that's the case, in order to go around it through your CRM, text them from your CRM by saying your name and their name, and then the network recognizes likely Tina. So this is a text you send them. Let's say, Frank, this is Tina from blah, blah. I will be calling you shortly to discuss your inquiry. That will be the text that you're sending them, short, sweet. And then since their name is there, your name is there, the network automatically recognizes as likely Tina calling when you're calling them. So that's a way around that issue right there. Okay, it's 12:07. I'm going to leave it to Q&A for you guys. If any questions, of course, we can jump into that one. I go quiet at this point and I'll leave it to you guys. Any question? Cool. If no question, of course, we're at the time already. I appreciate you guys being here. I know most of you guys came in for expecting Krista. Krista called in, unfortunately, at the last minute. And I had to run this session with you guys. You had to listen to my boring voice. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. Have a great Thursday, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great one. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Axel.